results of quiet scans?
Yes, as I suspected. Her entire body underwent parasite therapy. The parasites compensated for her burnt epidermis and provide her blood with oxygen through cutaneous respiration instead of pulmonary respiration. In addition, they replaced the digestive organs she lost, and she receives carbohydrates through photosynthesis.
Was Skullface responsible?
There is no other possibility.
Skullface ordered Quiet to assassinate Snake, only she got set on fire instead when he woke up in that hospital. But then Skullface revived Quiet through his parasite therapy, at the same time infecting her with the English strain. That way, even if the assassination failed again, she could still kill all of us just by coming here.
That was the third English mating pair. Correction. The first and only English pair to be carried by a person.
So either because she wanted to get even with Snake, or because she was working for Skullface, Quiet approached Snake again.
Though in the end, for whatever reason, she did not complete her objective. Some change of heart, perhaps. We want to hear it from her.
Please select a mission.
I want to thank you, Code Talker. Your pinpointing the cause of the vocal cord parasite's mutation enabled us to purge an enemy from Mother Base.
You mean that scientist?
Yeah, I was convinced he betrayed us, but I was wrong. He was never on our side to begin with, so ultimately there was no traitor among us. And yet I made everyone distrustful with my talk of spies, the end result being men turning on each other in the laboratory.
You must not blame yourself. They were all infected with the mutated strain. The outcome would have been the same.
You know, we defeated Skullface, but it didn't lessen our pain. It's a pain we'll never be rid of. I see that now, but I thought I could burn it away. In the end, all I burned was our own men.
Infectious diseases, parasites. Without such foreign enemies, the immune system will start attacking the body, developing allergies and autoimmune diseases. The same is true of organizations.
You're right.
But I do not deserve to rebuke you. My desire to retaliate against the English language is what attracted me to the vocal cord parasites in the first place. Had it not been for that, I would never have been used by Skullface. We both allowed revenge to crawl into our minds and lay its eggs.
Sahelanthropus will unleash that thirst unto the future. How long are we going to be tormented by what he left behind?
There is no choice but to live with that pain. Be symbiotic with our vengeful nature. Whatever we do, we must not allow that thirst for revenge to control us. It appears I was looking at things wrong.
What do you mean?
All of you. Until now, I had thought of your organization, Diamond Dogs, as a superorganism.
You'll have to explain that one.
The term refers to a unit of eusocial insects like ants or bees. While made up of many individuals, they behave as though they are one organism, with the Queen as their nerve center. The close ties you share here reminded me of that.
Well, the boss's efforts do pull us all together.
I was not finished. I'm speaking in terms of homogeneity. You come from all walks of life, do you not? Many races and tongues, talents and pasts, complementing each other, influencing each other, making Diamond Dogs the unique group that it is.
Of course. We have no use for mindless drones around here.
Is that so? Then perhaps an organization like yours is a truer superorganism than the ants and bees.
Meaning?
Most organisms adapt to their environment by coexisting with other species. Take the cow, for instance. Its rumen, the first stomach, contains an incredible number of bacteria which digest the food it has consumed. Without their help, the cow could not break down the fiber in grasses. The cow has to outsource its means of survival to them.
You don't say.
Man is the same. Some 100 trillion bacteria live inside the human intestines. Without the bacteria, they could not function properly. And it does not stop there. The stomach, the mouth, the skin, even the placenta contains bacteria that coexist with us. The same is true of parasites. In fact, the human immune system has evolved based on parasites being a part of it. Without them, the immune system can run amok and even damage other parts of the body.
This is all very interesting, but what does it have to do with Diamond Dogs?
A harmonious superorganism is made up not of a group of homogeneous individuals, but of diverse individuals that complement each other. That is what I saw in your group here. Then it occurred to me that man is a superorganism. Man's phenotype is not determined solely by his genetics. Some say if you mapped the genomes of all bacteria in the human body, the result would be over 100 times bigger than the human genome. The sum of man's genome and those of the organisms he coexists with, call it a metagenome, creates the superorganism we know as a human being.
Well, now that's quite a leap.
You think so? Then try a broader perspective. If our world were a human body, you would be parasites. You make a living by doing the dirty work that the world powers cannot handle themselves. From their perspective, you are likely a nuisance. But without you, pus would build up around the world, and autotoxemia, self-poisoning, would follow. The world needs your kind.
Thank goodness for that.
Skullfaced forced me to turn parasites into weapons. Creatures with which we are supposed to coexist. Meanwhile, that foundation I worked with focused solely on the human genome, apparently thinking that manipulating it would get them whatever new form they want. Both ways are mistakes. Neither is a true superorganism. I am Dine. By speaking with those living inside me, we enhance one another and enjoy harmonious growth. Such was the original purpose of my research. You have made me remember this.
Well, it's an honor. You can travel the world, but you won't find another place like this. If the whole world was like this base, I think the peoples of the world would bid farewell to fighting for good. Maybe that's what the boss wanted in the end.
I did not choose to be quiet. I wanted to express my feelings to you. If only we shared a common tongue. Vengeance was what drove me to them. The only language left to me, revenge. But the words we shared... No, that was no language at all. That is why I chose the language of gratitude instead and go back to silence. I am quiet. I am the absence of words.
Please select a mission.
Don't you die on me, damn it! BB's dropping!
Intubate, now! Cardiac arrest, he's in B-fib!
Clear!
No response, hit him again!
Clear! How's he doing?
Well, he stabilized, but it took too long. He's in a coma.
What about him?
He, took some shrapnel. To the head.
We spoke of was and when, although I wasn't there. He said I was his friend, which came as some surprise. I spoke into his eyes, I thought you died alone a long, long time ago. Oh no, not me, I never lost control. Your face to face with the man who sold the world.
Κοιτάξέ με. V has come to.
V has come too.
Ακούεις με? Ακούεις με? Can you hear me? Are you having difficulty speaking? Can you move your head? Just nod if you can hear me. Look up, please. Very good. Please try to relax. There is plenty of time. I need to tell you something. Please listen and try not to panic. You've been in a coma for quite some time. Yes, I know. You would like to know how long. I'm afraid it's been 9 years. Damn it! Nosocoma! 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 Nurse! Calm down. Calm down. Try not to panic. Wait a second. Try not to panic. Now. You'll be all right. There now. Just rest.
How do you feel?
It's been 1 week since you came to. Now, let's try getting you out of that bed. Nurse. Don't worry. You've lost some strength, but we've been maintaining your muscle mass through massages, CPM therapy, and EMS. Now, I need to explain something to you, but you mustn't be alarmed. 9 years ago, you were injured in an explosion. Upon examination, we discovered 108 foreign bodies embedded within you. In addition to shrapnel, we also found fragments of human bone and human teeth. Most of it was removed, but some of the fragments still remain. They are located near your heart and in your skull. Look at this. The fragments are lodged deep within your cerebral cortex. We couldn't give you an MRI, the metal, you see. But even if we were to extract it, you would most likely suffer a brain hemorrhage. Mental and physical impairment are unavoidable. However, Your current status is not life-threatening. One more thing. This X-ray is of your upper body. You better look now. Best to understand your situation sooner than later. I know it's difficult, but please look down. It's best to see with your own eyes. Be brave. Νοσοκόμα, γρήγορα! Try to calm down! Calm down! Please! Calm down! It's gonna be okay! Yes, yes! Calm down! Yes. Better. Yes.
Έγινε σε κατάσταση πλαστική εγχείρηση.
Κάποιος ήδη γνωρίζει ότι έχει ξυπνήσει. Διατρέχει μεγάλο κίνδυνο. Πρέπει να ενεργήσουμε άμεσα. Προετοιμάστε τον για εγχείρηση. Δεν το πιστεύω. It's true. There are those who wish you would never woken up. You should be dead, but you're not. The wheels are in motion. Your enemies are everywhere. We must alter your appearance immediately. Otherwise, I fear you won't leave this place alive. It's a wide open world up there, so there's something we need to take care of first. This is you, as you've lived until this day. I'm going to change your appearance. We have no other choice. Very good. Now, let's remove these bandages. Your face has healed nicely. To tell you the truth, these bandages were more for your protection, to hide you from those who want you dead. As of today, your name is Ahab. Forget everything. Your name, your past. Everything feels all right?
patient in the next bed saw my face. Of course, consider it done.
Okay, have time to go.
What happened to the woman?
The woman? We gave her a light. She took the short way down.
Who are you?
Who am I? You're talking to yourself. Been watching over you for 9 years. You can call me Ismail.
What the hell is going on?
Well, the good news is, you're in the land of the living. Bad news? The whole world wants you dead. On your feet, soldier. The whole place is coming down. Need a little pick-me-up? Okay. Here. Nothing like a little digoxin to get you back in the game. Come on! Drug's not working. We're getting out of here. Move it.
Let's take the stairs.
Hold up, let's fix this. Next time, do it yourself. It's always good to try and mend your injuries while hiding from the enemy. Over there. Let's go. This way, hurry. Keep your head down.
Help me, please. Let's move. Help me! I don't want to die! Don't get caught in those searchlights. Here they come, hurry. Move! Go!
Πάμε γρήγορα. Come on.
Σας παρακαλώ, τι συμβαίνει?
Δεν είδε κανένας, θα μας σκοτώσουνε.
Ναι, τον είδα πριν λίγο.
What's happening out there?
It's all right, we'll be okay.
I can't see what's happening.
Do you hear that?
What's going on out there?
Hey! Πρόσεχε!
Hey!
Hey! Hey! I can't see what's happening.
What is that? What's happening out there? Does anybody know?
Hey!
You should be okay. Do you hear them coming?
Where are they?
Negative. He came in here. Keep looking.
This way. We're sitting ducks. Blend in with the bodies. Get down on your stomach and crawl. If you move, we're done for. Play dead. Hold on. We better stop and treat that injury. Down the aim button to aim, then press the attack button to fire. Destroy it. Hold on. I'll take the right. Take the left. There you go. Nice work. Let's go. I'll run interference. Get in!
This way, boss. Hurry. Use that bike. It's tuned up and ready to go. I'll handle the rest. Here. That's your name as of today. best change of face, too. Now this one, he'll take your place. From here on, he's Snake. He believes it, too.
My very own Phantom, huh?
Boss, the whole world wants your head. Don't worry, he can handle it. Move now, quickly.
Aren't you forgetting something? We'll meet again.
Right.
anesthetic. We have to open her now.
Now do you remember?
Who you are. What you were meant to do. I cheated death thanks to you. And thanks to you, I've left my mark. You have too. You've written your own history. You're your own man. I'm Big Boss. And you are too. No. He's the two of us together. Where we are today, we built it. This story, this legend, it's ours. We can change the world and with it the future. I am you and you are me. Carry that with you wherever you go. Thank you, my friend. From here on out, you're Big Boss.
We spoke of was and when, although I wasn't there. He said I was his friend, which came as some surprise. I spoke into his eyes. I thought you died alone a long, long time ago. Oh no, not me. I never lost control. Your face to face with the man who sold the world.
What was it all for? If the boss has some plan, what is it?
The real big boss is working separately from us to create his new nation.
New nation?
A military nation above and apart from all. The true outer heaven. Something created to maintain world balance. Independent of the struggles for supremacy, for personal profit, the cycles of revenge between countries. It'll be an army, all right, but more. Big Boss is building a nation. But until it's complete, we support the other Big Boss. The Phantom carries on his legend, his meme. That is Big Boss's plan.
So that's the way it is. 9 years ago, I thought everything had been taken from me. But now I really have lost it all. The boss, and the future we were building together.
One day, the age of Big Boss's sons will arrive. They'll likely want to settle the score with him. We have to shape that age. We'll each have roles to play. Building the foundation for a revolution led by both Big Bosses, the True One and the Phantom.
No. Big Boss can go to hell. I'll make the Phantom and his son stronger to send him there. For that, I'll keep playing my role.
You know, sooner or later, there will be only one boss. There's only room for one boss. His sons are fated to face each other someday, too. If the day ever comes that you go back to Cypher, I'll aid the other son. And then you and I will be enemies, too. One of us will have to kill the other.
Fine by me. I'll be ready for the new age. Until then, we'd better get used to coexisting.
Boss, how you back on your feet so quickly?
There's a non-smoking ward.
Boss.
If I listened to everything the doctors said, I'd probably die in here. No point waking up after 9 years for that.
Well, having you out of that bed makes things a little easier.
Bad news, huh?
Things are looking worse.
Go on.
They found out about you waking up. And the man on fire picked this time to wake up too. We'll have to move forward ahead of schedule. Miller already has the preparations underway. We'll have to wake up your neighbor too.
So he's not. He seems awake now.
No. Well, he's not actively conscious yet, at least.
He was a doctor, too.
In his mind, that past no longer exists. Your past is his past now. He's going to be your Phantom, not some simple diversion. He'll act as the new big boss, and the act just isn't for Cypher. He'll be your face on the world stage, until the time comes for your resurgence.
You make it sound easy.
We've been busy over the last 9 years. His altered state of consciousness has helped us implant powerful suggestions through induced hypnagogia. He's experienced all your missions on record and shares all your knowledge and experience.
to make him believe that he is the one true big boss. No one around him will doubt that he's the big boss they know. So, is he the real big boss or a stand-in? What does that mean to him? Nothing. The human brain is capable of many illusions. Of pain, of the future. What happens from here depends on his skill. You can vouch for that.
He was always the best man we had. But
9 years ago in that helicopter, he threw himself between you and the blast. In that moment, the man you knew died. He died protecting you. And now, by becoming you, he protects you again. This is just a detour in his journey to hell. And don't forget, it's what he wanted. He's in his dog days now. It's not just him. We'll be putting the people in this hospital in the line of fire. They'll be your shield and necessary diversion to buy us some time.
And you?
I'll be right by his side.
Can you keep it up? It's a hell of a lie.
It won't be a lie. I won't know his secret either. I'll believe that he's the real big boss. I'll have no conscious knowledge of you. Where's the lie in that?
Self-hypnosis.
It's nothing new in my line of work. Manipulating memories, the past. But that's not all. When the time is right, I need to remember that you're the real boss. In a world, it's double think.
In this year,
2 + 2 = 5. And I want you to do the same.
Right. His bodyguard?
Correct. It won't be long before this hospital comes under attack. We'll wake him up right away, but he won't be back to full health in time. You'll need to take him through his final paces.
Yeah. I want to see his face again.
All right, John. I've never forgotten you in these 9 years, but I have to forget you now.
Adam, I'm counting on you. What's up?
About the 1972 project. Les Enfants Terribles.
You never did like the French.
All that Catherine the Great aristocratic pompousness gets to me, that's all. Palace talk. They can keep it.
Les enfants terribles. You terrible children.
That madness Zero started. Or the start of his madness.
You found out something new?
The plan itself was abandoned in '76. ATGC dismantled the project, and their account with DARPA was closed. So I was worried about what happened to you. Your sons.
They're no sons of mine. And they're sure as hell not me.
Just a bunch of cells grown in a lab?
What they are is much sicker than that.
Well, Zero doesn't think so. Eva doesn't either. To them, those boys are your clones. They're you, down to the last hair.
And?
The first boys were raised free range, like we thought. Both of them. David has never left the States, but the other, Eli, has disappeared. Might as well call it abandoned. They're through with him.
Where is he?
He was in England, Zero's home ground. Apparently he traveled to Africa after that, but that's where he escaped from Zero's care.
Just like that? Why?
Who knows? Maybe he found out about his birth. If he's alive, he'd be 11 or 12 by now. Old enough to think and act for himself.
So he might still be alive?
On his own, there? I wouldn't bet on it. John, if he is alive, what's the plan?
I have nothing to say to him. Treat him like a human being, just another person.
Boss, this war business you and Miller started. Since the industry spread out to the PFs, it may have a favorable influence on Cypher. To a ruler, an everlasting enemy is convenient. By directing the public's animosity outside his borders, he could unify their frame of mind. Guns for hire continue the war. Then enrich the economy with their spoils. War as a business will become a permanent tool for manipulating the public mind. A new business model. You might even call it a war economy. Before long, Cypher, or rather the Patriots, will be drawn to this. Probably only a few decades before it takes hold. It's not far off at all. Still no leads on Zero. We don't even know whether he's still alive. But the protocol he put in motion's making steady progress. Every day, SIGINT's web covers a little bit more of the globe. Total information control. Big Brother Zero. And it'll happen before anyone even realizes. I don't like it. You're the big brother of the battlefield. You've earned a firm grip on the world's military power. But soon, Zero will have nations in his. He'll erase the Cold War, all war, from people's minds, and with it the world's borders. Zero's will, his influence, will be unleashed, with nothing to stem the tide. When that happens, opposition will no longer match the lines on the map. And boss, with no borders left, what difference can we make? War will have lost any true meaning to the world. Just one more gear keeping the wheels of economy turning. Another product bearing down the capitalist conveyor belt. The future your friend Miller wanted. That's all there is in store. Perhaps it's already too late. But human will should only be handed down and nurtured by human hands. It can't be entrusted to the system. Especially not that soulless phantom that Zero's left in his wake. No matter what happens, we'll have to fight someday to reclaim our truth. Until next time, Big Boss. Someone has successfully struck at Zero. Since Zero's using a private network, we get information, but we have no way to trace his location. That means the details are still fuzzy at this point, but apparently some new bioweapon was used. As soon as he noticed the dip in his vital signs, he had his stomach pumped and even underwent blood dialysis. But he didn't fully recover. Ironically, if Zero kept more company, he'd have been safe. Since the incident, his speech and actions have been getting more unhinged by the day. He's probably been rushed to another safe house for intensive care. But the location is a complete mystery. That's the way he operates. He went to incredible lengths to make sure his great escape went unnoticed. So far, I know at least Langley and the Pentagon were involved. He had a blackout triggered in New York to disrupt the transportation and information grids, and at least 2 submarines were sighted off the coast. The personnel involved were working off a cover story. Naturally, the White House was fed the same thing. The project is buried under a pile of dummy ops and backup plans stretching across multiple organizations. It's safe to say not one of the people involved knew what they were moving or to where. All top secret, no trail, no leads. He's living up to his name as usual. Only this time, even I can't find him. Now, the only record of his location lies within the Cypher AI that was at the heart of the escape plan. And that's closed off, with its data sealed away in a secret location. Skullface was able to put together this assassination attempt, but even he can't possibly know where Zero is now. I'll keep searching, but when you're up against he who controls information, it's gonna be a long battle. Boss, it was Anderson after all. That's right, the man who went by Sigint during Operation Snake Eater. Following Zero's disappearance, he's taken over command of Cypher. Well, to be precise, the AI he oversees has. The idea to have an AI act for Zero came about in '74, when the data from the mammal pod penetrated NORAD. Clearly, an AI couldn't be allowed to make its own decisions. So they would take away its ability to act, and instead create a specialized system in which the AI, bound by specific rules, filters the massive amounts of data it collects before passing it on to people, subtly guiding their decision-making. A system of the people, by the people, for the people. So they began researching how to do it. DARPA apparently brought Strangelove on board to head it up. She was forced out after a certain incident. The direction of the project and any trace of her existence was scrubbed after her departure. Before Zero lost consciousness as his condition worsened, he left instructions for Anderson. Through a cutout, of course. Zero went out of his way to hide your location in order to keep you safe. This meant sacrificing his own protection. It was the only way to ensure you could stand alone as your own man. Here I am. The only link between you and the world that's passing you by. I'm your last connection now. This was Zero's last request. His will. Once you're awake, we need to discuss the best way to ensure your safety. Oh, and they've got a name for Anderson's AI project. It's called the Patriots.
It's all about ensuring that the concepts driving society appears the same in the mind of each person in that society. About maintaining the identity of the individual, and yet having that individual willingly make up part of the whole. I guess it's fitting to call that patriotism. Creating a united world. Zero's will is already fading into a shadow of what it once was. Systems, guidelines, rules, laws. When you take a mentality and fix it in a solid shape, put it out there in the hands of people, it can only begin to decay. No mentality can last forever. When the body dies, the will dies with it.
Huh?
Over here.
Hello?
Not there. Here.
Huh?
Thank you for coming. Please.
You're...
Is it that odd? I suppose the cuffs have gotten a bit loose. Although, truth be told, I have been spending more time in pajamas as of late.
No, nothing.
The tie, perhaps. Not the most fashionable pattern, I admit.
No, it is very nice.
How sweet. Will you take a little brandy? You're hardly underage, after all.
No, thank you.
Please, sit. Pacifica Ocean.
What?
Ah, yes. You've already begun. Not bad. A schoolgirl through and through. Even he won't suspect otherwise. Here you are.
Thank you. I heard you were sick?
Poppycock. I just like to take a little time off work.
You?
You must feel that way sometimes.
Well...
Anyway, I could hardly greet my first guest from that damned bed.
I, missed my chance to catch you snoring.
Now I'm twice as glad I got ready in time. Drink, before it gets cold. English breakfast tea. All I have, I'm afraid. There were 8 candidates before you, meaning you will be the 9th Paz Ortega Andrade.
What happened to the others?
They're in the next room. They've been taking it easy these past few months.
They...
Do you see any windows here?
No?
I've gotten used to it, this life. I am who I am, after all, and I've had my fill of cursing this bloody dunce. Excuse me. But I can't help sometimes wishing I could see the stars. What should I do?
Well, you could go outside, go up to the roof, wait for the clouds to pass. You would have a view of Manhattan, and a pretty one too. But once the wind blows and the clouds pass, you can look up and see a sky full of stars. even here.
You've had a hard time getting to where you are.
Yes.
Sewer rats lead better lives. I know. Extreme training, starvation, days spent without sleep. Abandoned, hurt, and all but killed in every way imaginable. Some of your compatriots died. Others betrayed you, left you for dead. And you did the same to them. But through it all, you survived. And you alone made it here. Just look at you. I can see everything you've been through.
Yes.
Consider this mission a reward for the mountain you've climbed.
Thank you.
Yes, well, you know what's next.
Yes.
And you are prepared?
Yes.
I believe you. That ever so slight tan. Not the type you'd get on the West Coast. If I didn't know better, I'd say you really did grow up around the equator. But it runs deeper than that. One look at you, and I see a wide-eyed student yearning for peace. Born and raised in Central America. I can see it all. How much preparation have you done?
A little.
You'll be perfect for this, to strike back at Snake. I'll share everything I know about him. But you mustn't forget who you're dealing with. If he were to get the better of you, well, I deeply regret having put you in that position. But beyond that, I'm putting my life in your hands.
You can trust me, Cypher.
None of my friends call me that. Tea's gone cold. Shall I make some more?
I know we are the only ones here. There's no one in the other room.
And how do you know that?
You said I was your first guest.
Oh, I haven't had this much fun in quite a while. All right, then.
Cypher's been in hiding ever since his grand experiment. No one's seen him in years. All we hear are orders delivered by proxy. Except you. You met with him, face to face, in order to contact Big Boss. Tell me where he is. Where is Cypher? Where is Zero? I've never known choice. Where I was born, the language I speak, I've never had the freedom to choose for myself. But you, right now, are free. Do as you will.
This will save Big Boss.
It may.
Will you really kill Zero for me?
Not for you.
All right. Zero is Hell's Kitchen, 10th Avenue. He is undergoing treatment there.
Not exactly Hyde Park.
His medical needs keep him from moving around. That is why he summoned me there. The other residents are of varying race and ages, but in reality, all 40 units are Cypher personnel. It took him 10 years to replace the original occupants. He has got places like this all over the world.
No better place to hide a needle than a stack of needles.
Zero is on the top floor. A room with no windows and no doors. Even the elevator does not reach it. Officially, the floor does not exist. The only access is by a secret staircase 1 floor down. Room 702.
Shades of World War II.
Nobody realizes the entire building is a setup. People go in and out all day. But they're all cipher. The building blends right in with the rest of the city. They disseminate rumors that a gang operates out of the building that keeps most outsiders away. And most of them are there as security in case of an emergency. But even they don't know what they're really protecting. Foot traffic, goods coming in and out, phone lines, water and sewage. It is all monitored remotely by satellite and cameras inside and out. Should he need it, there is a sealed-off water conduit that can be used to escape to the Hudson River, and from there to the sea. But from the outside, it is just another building. A perfect disguise.
So the Major believes zero suspicion equals total security. Very bold. It's just the kind of ruse I'd expect from him. So long as no one's suspicions are aroused, you could hide there forever. On the other hand, if someone figures it out, there are dozens of ways in. And he's so paranoid about information slipping out, no one involved has the full picture. That ignorance is a weakness, the downfall of a need-to-know system. The pitfalls are clear. Circumventing them will be simplicity itself.
You hate him, don't you?
Hate? He never left me to die. I owe him my life. I'm bound to repay the favor. Any way I can. But that's not what you really want to know. What you want to know is, do I hate Big Boss? I don't hate the man. I do deserve a little more of his gratitude. But he probably has no idea who I am. So you see, I have no reason to hate him at all. I mean to have my revenge against Zero. It's not petty hatred or resentment. Nothing so personal. Even the hottest lava eventually cools, becoming a mountain. And that mountain becomes the land. Scalding steam comes back down as rain, forming rivers, draining into the sea. It's then that nature's order sets in. Now I'm merely a part of that cycle. Just like Zero. And you. And Big Boss.
Don't do it!
That lava, that vengeance, is already set as stone. Too late to change things now.
Don't kill him!
The choice is not mine to make.
Please, let Big Boss live!
Proceed.
Please!
shot already! Hold her still.
It's me.
Ocelot. It's been quite a while.
Yeah, I'll say. Took a lot longer for you to surface than I expected, Major.
I wasn't planning on coming back at all, but I had no choice.
Well, after the Caribbean.
My hunch was proven right. You wouldn't believe who was behind it.
Oh, I have an idea. How did you respond?
Immediate disinformation campaign. Most bought into the story, but not everyone. It was quite an incident, after all. I couldn't cover everything, but I did hide the fact that Snake survived. And that should buy us some time.
Where is he?
En route to an old foxhole of mine. A base in the British sovereign area of Cyprus.
The military hospital had to kill you?
Ava's leading the operation.
Ava? Following your orders?
Funny, isn't it? That we should all reunite like this.
This is an emergency. Otherwise, I sure as hell would...
Yes, I don't expect you to bury the hatchet between us. Something simply won't ever happen. Even I can appreciate that. You too can only bear to speak with me from time to time. That's fine. But I don't want Snake to die. Surely we can come together on that. There are so few men I can turn to. And you're number one, Ocelot. Keep him hidden. Keep him safe. But I'll stay where I am. And leave the rest to you. That's how he'd want it too.
Isn't it better for you to be there to supervise?
Where I am, where he goes, it makes no difference. All that matters is getting him the very best treatment and security. The latter being where you come in. Will he wake up? And if so, when? I have absolutely no idea. But as long as his heart is beating, he will keep fighting. So please, watch over him.
This location, it's safe?
No one will find him. And if they try, I will deal with them. The information must be suppressed.
Which is what you do best. Guess you're still at the top of your game, huh?
Anything but. I'm sick, Ocelot. Donald's taken over a great deal. He'll be handling this situation from here on as well. Though I wish it weren't so. This will probably be the last time you and I speak. So, you won't say no, will you?
I have no choice.
Thank you.
Save your thanks.
One more thing. A proposition.
Yes?
I've prepared a ruse of sorts. One I imagine you'll quite like.
What is it?
You could say I've made another Snake.
Major?
I'm not talking about the children. A mental copy. His phantom, if you like.
I don't understand.
You will when you get to Cyprus. I've set the ball in motion, but the rest is in your hands. You're good at this kind of thing. The best. I need you on this.
If it's in his best interests.
I assure you, it is. Look after Snake. He's the toughest son of a bitch I've ever known. Yes, it's me. You weren't in hospital long. I had trouble finding you.
Where is he?
Safe. But in the same state as when you last saw him. We've had our misunderstandings, you and I. But as you've made clear, our relationship is strictly business. Therefore, I will limit this conversation to the business at hand. Please understand that I don't dislike you. Not inherently.
Where is Snake?
No. Settle down, or I'll have to hang up. And then you never hear from me again. Do you understand? First, about your boss. I had him moved once he was stabilized. I'm sure it came as quite a shock to you when you woke up. You'll have to forgive me.
I told him to stop putting me under.
Surely you understand. Specialized medical treatment in places like that can be positively nightmarish. We couldn't have left him there forever. And to be honest, I wasn't entirely comfortable leaving matters in your hands. Don't take it the wrong way. Anyone looking for him would be looking for you. He needed to be as far from you as possible. In fact, I'm still not sharing his location, even now. Problems could arise. So, instead, I'm giving you a point of contact. An introduction to a network of messengers who will lead you to a man. A friend to your boss. I'm sure he's mentioned him before. He knows Snake's location. More than any man alive, I trust him with this sort of thing. Keeping secrets, or men in the dark. He's known Snake quite a while. 10 years longer than you. Kazuhira, I don't care if you don't trust me, but I require your absolute trust in him on this. Snake will be brought back into this world, however long it takes. Understood? The only reason we're having this conversation is because you still have a role to play. Which brings me to the next issue. What happens after he regains consciousness? When Snake wakes up, and he will, he'll need your help again. So when he does, I promise you'll be the first to know. The code phrase will be, V has come to. I'll then mobilize all the necessary parties. Think of it as an overture to a prologue. Until then, do what you like. Just be ready when the time comes. But you don't need me to tell you that, do you? I know it's been hard on you too. But I can't imagine you're willing to just walk away.
What are you talking about? If what you're saying is true, then this is like wrapping a rope around your own neck and throwing it over a branch. What's your play in all this?
This is for Snake. So that he survives after he wakes up. Nothing more. After that, I don't care what you do.
Then tell me something.
Go on.
I only joined you after I found out what you were after. To make the world one, you need Snake for that. And he's already done a hell of a lot for you.
He has.
So on some level at least, I think you're being straight with me. Then why'd you do that to him? I get what you were trying with Paz. You wanted to get Snake any way you could. But after that, what you did, how could you do that to him?
After that wasn't me. You may not believe this, but I never intended for any of this to happen. My organization has many arms. It's just going to take a little longer before we're all on the same page. I admit I may have been lax in my supervision, but something like that will not happen again.
Whatever. One day, I'll know the truth. Just as soon as the boss wakes up. And then we're coming after you. This ends with you begging us to put you out of your misery.
Is that so? Fantasy can make for a powerful ally. But remember this reality, Kazuhira Miller. Big Boss will wake up. And when he does, be there for him.
Major, I wondered whether you'd really call.
Exer, I presume this was your doing?
Do you like my gift?
I've been searching a long time for this.
It is what you were looking for, yes?
The winged dagger of a comrade lost to the sands of Egypt. He served under the boss back in Rayforce. I delivered this pin to her after his death. We were both so very young. From that moment on, she never let it leave her side.
She was still carrying it in Selinoyarsk. How about the back? Something wrong, Major?
Nothing, just pricked my finger.
The back?
The scar is there, just as I remember it. And this white stitching on the back. from the White Berets the SAS wore in the early days. Ah.
Major?
30th of December, 1941. It's the inscription I made the day he died.
Of course.
His body was never recovered. This pin badge is the closest thing he has to a gravestone. When I gave it to her, she just kept on running her finger over the inscription. Never again, she uttered, as if reprimanding herself for his death. She pressed hard, embedding the inscription itself into her finger. You see, it's why this spot on the back looks shinier than the rest. He was our brother in arms.
So...
Yes, it's real. Thank you. There's no doubt about it.
Good. Now I have no regrets.
What do I owe you?
Nothing. Just want to talk for a moment.
Very well, then.
It's about our man, Major. He's been making some moves.
Miller? Yes, I know. Rhodesia, is it?
Yes, and up to his old tricks again.
No matter. He'll stumble soon enough.
Although he is under my jurisdiction now.
And that's what you want to talk about?
Not exactly. You see, my being here has made me realize I can still be of use to you.
How so?
This country is rich with biological resources. Bacteria, nematodes, viruses. I'm sure we can find something here to bring that plan back into action.
Forget it. The Cleanser Project was just another one of my predecessor's daydreams.
And the vocal cord parasites?
Were an excellent test case for reverse evolution. Nothing more. What matters now is the genetics technology behind that work. With genetics, the clumsiness in targeting an entire race isn't an issue. We can target specific individuals. No need to breed multiple generations of parasite just to get results.
But
Don't be quaint, Exo. Once the Cold War is over, our enemies won't be so clearly defined. Using humans alone won't be enough. An electronic network will span the globe, and our enemies will blend right into it.
You may be right. But will people really settle for an enemy they can't see? Men want to feel righteous, need to see the evil in the enemy they fear. Without it, they'll turn their aggressions inward, find an enemy inside. You know this is true.
I see what you're saying. Just as those robbed of their parasites develop allergies and autoimmune diseases, a man robbed of his enemy develops self-destructive tendencies. And I know all the symptoms. Ethnic conflict, religious strife, terrorism. And with asymmetrical conflict, deterrence is a joke. That's why we must depend on information control. People need an appropriate context for their lives. A context that's stimulating without being destructive. That balance is the basis of equilibrium.
You mean to say people will blindly accept your context without developing any allergies?
If we're to unite the world, literacy must be suppressed. To suppress the information immune system, to borrow your metaphor.
Immunity to information. But to ensure there's no allergic reaction, while the immune system fights off parasites and pathogens.
It's done, Exo. This world will become one. I have found the way. The world that the boss envisioned will finally become a reality. Race, tribal affiliations, national borders, even our faces will be irrelevant. The nature of communication itself will change, and it will make mankind whole again.
Some things can't be undone. My face was taken from me. There's no taking that back.
A face means nothing when one's soul is able to communicate directly with another.
I have no intention of hiding behind your technological veil, Major. I wear my broken visage, this skull, in the open, so that I may never forget what I've lost.
What are you?
The chain of retaliation is what will truly bind this world together as one. Major?
You son of a... The pin. You...
Yes, the pin. It's too late. They can't extract it. You see, Major, some things can't be undone.
How did you find me? The girl. You made her talk.
I'm sorry I couldn't visit or thank you in person, but it has been lovely chatting. And now that I know you're no longer interested in the garden, it's time for you to step aside. You're a busy man, lots to do, so I've left you a little time.
Go to hell. How dare you? You planned this all along. Had your own agenda. All these years.
Now you see, the world can never truly become one.
But the boss...
You've been wrong.
You're no different. Just like him. None of you understand the world she saw.
I would say the same to you, Major.
You steal it all away. Everything.
The boss said the same thing. Only I understood what she meant. Major, I'll handle the rest. Oh, and one more thing. That pin badge, it was a fake. I held on to the real one. I'll take good care of it. And continue the boss's work.
Jack. Go.
I almost thought you wouldn't come.
Well, you're supposed to visit hospital before you die.
But how did you get here?
My friends at the SAS know how to keep a secret. The trip to the airport was a little dramatic, but the rest was easy. Still, I've had smoother rides. Oh, look. Escorted myself with my tea. I won't be staying long.
I understand.
Which one is he?
On the right.
And the left?
We did just as you instructed.
Has either of them woken?
Neither of them, no.
Not once?
Not in 2 years. Their weekly EEGs show stable activity levels. There's been practically no change.
Jack, Jack. It's me. You look fit to run a country mile.
Every 4 hours, we move all of their muscles, subject them to load. They're stable, but eventually...
Yes, of course.
We've done everything we can to ensure they're ready to move, should they wake up. Still, it's been a pretty long time. How long will they be here?
Indefinitely. It's too dangerous to move them. And so far, no one knows they're here.
I see.
I am most grateful to you. And I need you to keep it up.
We'll do everything we can.
Can you give us a moment?
Of course.
Jack, can you hear me? Nice place, isn't it? I went to a lot of trouble bringing you here. Here, where no one will find you. Still, the Ocelot's on guard duty, just in case. Maybe knowing that will help you sleep better. I had no intention of coming, but this could be my last chance. If you'd just come to see me first. Do you remember the last time I visited you in hospital? Our first mission together. After the boss threw you in that river. Broke your arm. Ah, the good old days. I never told you this, but I had another team at my disposal back then, with a very special man leading it. Maybe he didn't like the arrangement. In any case, this man, he seems to have done something to me. Which is why I'm quite sick myself. Up here. There's nothing they can do. I always was the forgetful type, as you know. I'm all right for now, but they say it's a one-way street. If you don't wake up soon, I won't remember you when you do. I don't mind about myself, but what he did to you, I can never forgive. I've sent him to Africa, and I doubt he's coming back. Jack, once your little holiday here is over, well, who knows when that will be? But anyway, I probably won't be around. I'll be somewhere even you can't find me. A tombstone chiseled into the code of a machine. That is all I leave to mark my existence. Wake up soon, old friend. Time is running short.
Well, I think his legacy will be as one of the forefathers of the gaming world and took it literally from A to Z.
I mean, I don't think it can be understated what Metal Gear's done for pop culture, for gaming.
Metal Gear really took these really difficult concepts and kind of made them easy to digest in a fun video game.
I'm eternally grateful for the opportunity to have been a part of the Metal Gear Solid series.
What I expect from Kojima is to have a vision and to do whatever it takes to deliver on that vision.
This franchise has informed so much about not only the kind of game that we make, but the way that we make a game.
Only a game with this kind of legacy can afford this excellence.
Mr. Kojima kind of arrives, the first time I met him, he arrives almost much farther ahead of his physical presence.
Well, obviously, Hideo is really rewarding to work for because you know you're working for one of the best.
I think Kojima's a great guy, super talented, love to hang around with him. Sometimes when he's in town or something, we'll go to dinner, just talk about games. He's, clearly he loves the industry. He loves what he does. He's so passionate. It's just, great to be around people like that.
We're very much ones who try to be one-man armies. He's very idealistic, as I am.
よく作品にすごい作品があって、それに影響を受けてまたこんな作品もあって、こんな作品もあってっていう風にいろんなその影響みたいなことがあったりしますけど、このメタルギアソリッドに関してはそういう後の影響とか追従がもうできないようなもう圧倒的な一個のものっていうか。
Metal Gear games are known for being both humorous and serious in tone and in the subject matter that they cover, but in a way, Kojima has legitimized video games and pop culture at large because he tackled serious issues and also made games that were really captivating to play.
He is such an artist and he is so beloved. I would liken it to the first time I met Steven Spielberg. Meeting him for the first time was awe-inspiring. It was very similar for me when I got to meet Mr. Kojima.
そのシニキングミッションっていうね、ジャンルっていうのはもう彼が作ったっていうかメタルギアの後に生まれたジャンルなので、そういった意味で言うと偉大なそのジャンルを作った人であったと思いますよ。
Only person I care was, Kojima-san. That's it. I mean, he's the busiest one of the busiest video game creator in the world, right? He's working nonstop to create this giant video game to give joy to the fans all over the world.
Hideo's a story guy. He likes a story. It's not just all about shoot 'em up stuff. He likes his story, in-depth story, and characterization. And I think I saw that develop a lot through 2, 3, and 4.
Probably made people think that video games are more than just a throwaway pastime. They can also be works of art.
He's been the one that's almost been opening the gates to people like myself, saying video games is not just what you think it is. He's like the Dali of video games.
Just the reaction that all of the people that I'd been working with for almost a year and a half at that point was so excited to have him in their presence. It was a real honor for me.
I think Kojima-san has created a universe and a signature that is entirely his own. He can be incredibly emotional and deep or incredibly insane and over the top. All these things make him one of the auteurs, a guy that has his own voice, is recognizable. You know when you are in a Kojima-san universe, and it's not something you can imitate. I feel the series has some of the best characters in any video gaming universe. They all have this incredibly human, sort of disappointed, romantic, nihilistic personality, but at the end of every game, at least once or twice, you experience another thing that is a Kojima signature, which is a great death scene. One of the most memorable moments in Metal Gear Solid 4, where Snake is crawling and is dying, and at the same time you have this sort of cinematic moment above him where you are combining the gameplay and sort of a free flow reflection about life and characters that were significant to you. And it was really a very poignant, very expressive, almost poetic moment that I think at that point and after that in many ways you haven't seen in a video game.
The nuclear weapons disposal facility on Shadow Moses Island in Alaska's Fox Archipelago was attacked and captured by Next Generation Special Forces, being led by members of Foxhound.
My first exposure to Metal Gear was, of course, PlayStation. For me, it was a revolution.
First time I remember playing Metal Gear is on the PlayStation.
E3 in 1997, when the first Metal Gear Solid was coming out.
I must have put about 15 hours minimum into that demo.
Metal Gear Solid arrived around the time that 3D graphics were starting to become a thing for console games, and for me, playing that for the first time and seeing Snake infiltrate underwater, it was really special because the way Kojima used cameras to sort of create a cinematic feel for the game.
Dealing with emotions I'd never seen from a video game before, you know, sitting there over Sniper Wolf's body, us two high school boys sitting there like, oh, it's okay, don't worry about it, we're gonna be okay.
You're a hero. Please, set me free.
I have two young stepsons, and they were huge fans of that game. And it was something that I became aware of because I used to have to try and drag them away from the TV if it was dinner or something like that.
Some other type of game, just run in, start, you know, shooting people, it's just, no. You know, I spent hours on a scene finally, you know, realizing, okay, look, this, you got to attack this like you would in normal life, you know, and that's what made it great.
That iconic sound when you first get caught, when you're trying to stealth, and that, you know, that sound and the exclamation point, it's just one of those things that kind of stands out in your memory. So that's, you know, one of my earliest kind of iconic memories of Metal Gear.
I think Metal Gear has influenced the game industry in a lot of ways, and one of the key ways is to have game designers think about their game from a filmic angle. That's not to say games need to be movies, because games and movies are very different mediums, but if you can view your game through the lens of what would this look like if a cinematographer were working on it, what if you had a AAA type of composer that plays the right music right when you're going to fight the last boss?
Just knowing all the technology that goes into it. I mean, I can take a camera and put it somewhere with two people. You know, he has a whole force of programmers after that has to basically go from his commands to putting it together. But that mindset must be very fascinating, the understanding of what is doable.
What? My hand!
This one hit me like you can still play. It doesn't take you away from the game, but you're following the story.
I played it multiple times on PlayStation, and then with MGS2 as well.
わーっと拍手が起きて、でその時終わってみんなふっと立ち上がっていなくなった時に道がちゃんとあったんですよね。
One day, a package arrived in my studio. I was busy trying to be a film composer. It was early days for me. The CD had on it examples of my music from The Replacement Killers, and actually music I'd contributed to Armageddon, Enemy of the State, a few action films. And the letter simply said, "This is how I want my game to sound. Are you interested?" And you know what? Flattery will get you everywhere. Yes, was the answer.
I remember being at the E3 conference in Los Angeles and seeing the demonstration of the game then, when it was Solid Snake on the boat before the Raiden reveal, and just that It is still, in my opinion, one of the top 3 video game scores of all time.
It was for Sons of Liberty. He wanted to do like a big title sequence, a completely animated title sequence, and not just cutting together game footage, but creating a lot of new content. You know, I remember the idea of like this sort of double helix of DNA, the shapes of the scales of the snake skin, and trying to find these sort of symbolic juxtapositions in the opening credits.
I remember going and visiting him in Tokyo after Metal Gear Solid 2 had shipped. And the office is dark. There's only one light on. It's Kojima in the corner. Everybody's on vacation, and he's sitting there planning out the story and the scenarios for the sequels.
Metal Gear has a crazy story, and every time there's a new game, I have to come back to find out what's happened. Every game jumps around maybe 10, 15 years, and it's always a chunk of time you're missing. So when a game comes back and is sort of talking about that missing part of the timeline, it's impossible for me to resist.
If Hideo, as he asked you to do Metal Gear Solid 3, because we hear there's gonna be one. So, you know, we did this thing on an oil tanker, we did this Metal Gear Solid 2 thing, and, you know, go set it in the jungle or something, I might consider it. Hey, he set it in a jungle. I don't think he did it because of me, but, you know, it was a new challenge. So with each game, there was a new challenge.
The philosopher's legacy.
Really, when I started seeing how he story-wise used his camera to really make it like a compelling structure, how he would cut it, how he would move the camera, the subjectiveness, the excitement, the way of using music.
What a fear in my heart, but you're so supreme. I give my life, not for honor, but for you.
How well do you have to know me to trust me?
スネークイーターのずーっと上がっていくところ、あそこはずーっと上がっていくところでベタな演出だなと思って、もうこんな演出しちゃってって思ってるんだけど、でもずっと上がって聞こえてくるうちに気がつくと泣いてたの。But I don't know why, but I was crying.
War has changed. When the battlefield is under total control, war becomes routine.
I feel that Metal Gear's impact on pop culture has been a very impactful one from the fact that it's introduced kind of the idea of American and Western globalization and kind of military-industrial complex to an entire generation of gamers and those who are friends with those gamers. I mean, we never really thought about private military contractors or the future of what could happen with soldiers and nanotechnology and augmented soldiers and all of that craziness in there. And Metal Gear really took these really difficult concepts and kind of made them easy to digest in a fun video game.
Yet again, our paths cross.
そのバンプっていうのがなんかその役にですね非常に似ててですね、なんかもしかしたらバンプっていうのはその鉄道のそのやつっていう役をイメージされて作ったのかなってちょっと思うぐらいちょっと似てるとこがあったので、かなり感情移入してそのバンプの役はできたんですね。
Metal Gear Solid 4 was the ultimate. It was the buildup of, you know, I'm a fan of this series, and this is a game that was fan service from front to back, answered all your questions. And if you're a normal person, you've never played Metal Gear, you try to pick up Metal Gear yourself, what the hell, the lale lulilo, who are these people and what's happening? This is the laser fonts and all those different things. Like, but as a fan, as somebody who's like entrenched, you know what I mean? Like, we were getting into Act 4 or whatever, and he's like, we have to go back to Shadow Moses. And I was like, are you kidding me?
ゲームをやってるとかこんなんだよっていうのをですねシミュレーションで見せていただいたんですけどね、これ映像だけ見てもすごいのにその世界で入ってゲームなんかした日にはですねとても危険だと思いました。ほとんど本当に戦場にいるというかですね臨死体験しちゃうんじゃないかっていうようなぐらいの体験をする感じがしました、このゲームを。
If it becomes a big franchise, you know, big hit series, it's much easier to go the safe highway, right? You don't want to go to the dirt road, and you never know, you know, what's waiting there. So, but Kojima-san seems like he's never afraid of that, and that's big credit as a creator, artist.
By the way, Snake, We're changing your code name for all following communication.
What's wrong with Snake?
Just a precaution. You are now designated Raiden.
I played the demo for Metal Gear Solid 2, like a lot of people did, and you went through the tanker mission, and it was great. And so, you know, it's kind of a long prologue, and so when the credits started coming up and you actually start to play what you're thinking is a real game, I just kind of rolled with it. You know, it was kind of cool because you're like, oh, great, this is like such a new experience from the demo. It's a totally new character. That's great.
The name of their leader is Solid Snake.
The hero of Shadow Moses? So that's why you changed my code name.
It was a huge deal to play as Raiden. Are you kidding me? Because for me, it was like that first like 15 minutes of like, all right, when's the other shoe gonna drop? When am I coming back as Solid Snake? Oh, okay, it's an hour in. When's it gonna happen? 2 hours in, 3 hours, and then you're like, holy crap, this is the game.
As cool of a character as Raiden is, to me, it's always been Snake.
And it sort of starts to dawn on you that like, wow, this is not going back. You even meet Snake through sort of the alias that he uses. And you kind of realize, okay, I'm not gonna play him.
だからライデンっていうのを聞いた時に、ああ、なんでこんな髪の長いやつがとかって思ったんだけど。
Whiny little jerk who just sits there and cries all the time with his blonde hair and all this other stuff. But for me, it wasn't, you know, a deal breaker.
Interestingly, at first I felt a bit negatively about it. It was kind of hidden for a while, wasn't it, I think? But I actually think the game's a lot better for it.
Why don't you just let us handle the grunt work? You can tell us what to do over the radio, like in the original mission plan.
One of the very interesting things that happens in the Metal Gear Solid series is that you as a player may have certain expectations about what's going to happen, but the games rarely turn out as you think they will.
I was aware when I started these things that Hideo was, you know, he was a tricky one. He was switching things up. He was always trying to fool the audience. Musically, I had to be careful what I was doing with him and follow his lead.
It wasn't so much a kind of like a, oh no, where's Snake gone? It was more just sort of like a, how on earth did you kind of keep that secret? You know, it's kind of like, that's the kind of, it's almost like a sort of magic act, you know, the ability to kind of hide something that big.
When the tanker ends, then we come in and it's like, why are they redoing the opening of Metal Gear Solid 1 and you rip off the mask and you're not Snake? That was an awesome moment. And then it became, all right, well, why am I this guy? Who is this guy? What's happening? How is the Colonel still here?
It's fun when you don't know what's coming. We want to be surprise me. So the fact that he can take these risks and trust himself to make it happen.
You just fall down the rabbit hole so easily with any one of these games, right? Where the story just gets out of control and you want to know what's coming up next.
Like all of his choices, a very bold one. To take that risk, and the game, you know, obviously turned out to be amazing.
You know, looking back now in 2015, I thought it was a great move to make that switch. Yeah, at the time, I'm sure, like many people, I was like, give me Snake.
And I think the ability to make these drastic changes in a game comes, you know, like the farther you get into a franchise, the more people are willing to accept some change. Doing it early on just shows, you know, like how seriously he takes that ability to kind of tell a story more so than just, you know, ship something that people expect.
You know, you're putting this character who you always play as, you know, you're viewing him from a different perspective and it gives him more, I guess, it grounds him more as a real character and you can see how skilled he is compared to someone so new.
If you run out of ammo, you can have mine.
You got enough?
Absolutely. Infinite ammo.
The boss scenes were just nuts.
It's so tough to pick like a single boss from the series. They all stand out. I want to give shout outs to, I think, Psycho Mantis, obviously. That's the one I guess most people will go to straight away.
It's got to be between, in terms of the mechanics, it's got to either be between Psycho Mantis or the end.
And the way that you can beat him by messing with your PS2 clock.
I mean, when I fought him, it was this incredibly long, drawn-out thing. I was really bad, like I couldn't find him. Any time I did kind of finally catch a glimpse of him, I'd get too excited and mess it up and have to go and find him again.
Like, just the whole time-based thing as well, how you can beat him if you just let him die. And
I remember approaching that very carefully and sneaking around, and it took me a long time. You know, certainly I never thought to, like, reset my console clock or any of those little tricks, which are just great that they're in there.
Kill him of old age. It's just like one of the that is one of the maddest bits of sort of technology use ever. I don't think that's sort of been bettered as a kind of trick. I just wish I'd known about it first time round.
I guess like the best fights are the ones that sort of almost play out like puzzles.
I mean, boss battles, there's so many. You talk about, you want to give Gray Fox a shout out, of course, just because remember how amazing that was.
It looks like they were cut by some type of blade.
Because this just ghost is going through, tearing people in half. The one guy's like crawling out at the end of it. And then you get to that fight with him, and like, that was so terrifying of him popping up over there, and you're trying to figure out how to get him. But then to jump forward and then have Raiden pick up that image, and then have in Metal Gear Solid 4, he gets stomped by Ray or whatever, but then you get to pilot Rex, and it's Rex Ray fight. I was like, holy crap, is this good?
It's not over. Not yet.
Originally fighting the Rex, something like that, just, that first time you do it, it's just like, so impressive, and then, just kind of blows you away.
Snake, your blood will be the first to be spilled by this glorious new weapon.
The sorrow as well, I think is really clever, given that it all depends on how many people you've killed up until that point.
Pretty much any confrontation with Ocelot, but maybe that's just because I like those confrontations.
It's just you and me. No one to get in our way. Ocelots are proud creatures. They prefer to hunt alone.
I think my favorite boss battle, and I'm probably not alone in this, is like the 15-minute epic long battle scene between Snake and Liquid that just goes on and on and on and on forever. It's got this beautiful, like John Woo-esque, amazing fight choreography, and the back and forth between, stabbing each other with the pens.
We are beasts created by man.
Life's end. Isn't it beautiful? It's almost tragic.
If I had to pick one boss above all others, it would be the boss from the end of MGS3. Not just because the fight that you have, I mean, that alone is amazing. The CQC fight is really memorable, but just the meaning that's layered on top of it. Like, this was your mentor. She was everything in that story.
I raised you. I loved you. There is nothing more for me to give you. All that's left for you to take is my life.
Snake will, as best as he can, kind of develop some kind of affection for a character. And then he will either have to kill them or watch them die.
It was heartbreaking to play that and, see it through to its conclusion, because I didn't want to go the way that it did. It was inevitable. I knew it had to be done, but I was kind of torn up inside when I was doing it, knowing that, the outcome was kind of inevitable.
There's only room for one boss and one Snake.
We met up here in LA about 7 or 8 months ago, and he took me to his studio here in Los Angeles and kind of introduced me to the future of what he was going to be doing.
Hideo is not just an innovator with his gameplay, he's also an innovator in how he markets his games. And I've had a great partnership with him over the years for some of his reveals, like the Phantom Pain. He spent 18 months putting together a fake development studio, Moby Dick Studios, just to toy with the fans for that reveal at the Video Game Awards.
When I first saw the trailer for Metal Gear Solid 5, I was just blown away.
Well, watching that trailer, I was really struck by the tone of it. Certainly like the sounds that were used, obviously the graphics and stuff. And I can't say that I instantly thought, okay, this is the new Metal Gear game, but I certainly, that was my suspicion. And obviously when the theories started coming out and stuff, I was definitely on board with a lot of that, which didn't take long.
Metal Gear Solid 5 wasn't revealed as Metal Gear Solid 5, it was revealed as The Phantom Pain, which is the subtitle that applies to the major game.
We had to find a way to cut the letters in The Phantom Pain, have these little indentations, so that those indentations later on would hold all the characters from Metal Gear type. And we thought we were so tricky. You know, we thought that nobody was going to figure out that that was the space for the T and that was the space for the P.
I went to like all the different forums and I was following all the conspiracy series and watching them like piece together like little hints. Like there was something like in the lettering, there was like the negatives that spelled out like Metal Gear Solid 5.
And in like 4 hours, there's all these, you know, hundreds of people on the internet like trying to like line things up.
You see this? Diamond Dogs.
Metal Gear Solid 5, no trace of my theme. Hideo wanted to go that way, which is cool. Enough's enough, you know? 2, 3, 4, we lent on that theme, we mangled it, we did this with it, we did that with it. People were dying to it, people were being born to it, people were being murdered to it, people were being shot up to it. I've produced the music for this new game, but the composer is Justin Burnett, who's a kind of someone who's worked with me, under me, on many of these things, so he knew the ropes anyhow. And it's going to be really super cool. I think the fans are going to be really happy about it.
Solo infiltration of the Soviet-made ground forces. Should be the perfect one.
How big is this game going to be? You know what I mean? Like, Metal Gears are linear. We know, you know what I mean? I'm on Shadow Moses. I'm in Metal Gear Solid 4. I'm sneaking around this like destroyed area, but there's a point A to point B kind of thing. And when they pull back and they show the map for the first time, and it's like, go anywhere. Do whatever you want. Like, there's guys everywhere. You can Fulton them out. You can go do this. It's just like, what the hell is happening? Like, how did they take what I love about Metal Gear and put it into an open world?
Well, for me, the Phantom Pain and that whole character of Snake is one of the prime examples of using what I come from, which is storytelling from a movie perspective, combined with an interactive perspective.
I'd say what brings me back for each new installment of Metal Gear is first off to see how crazy it's going to get, and second off to see how Kojima's going to top himself and how he's going to pick up where he left off, because each game feels like it could be almost its own chapter, like he's wrapping it up, but then there's always another story to tell in the series, it seems.
Knowing that his vision is to make this open world, or at least open area, where you can kind of explore more, I know that that's going to be his focus, and he's going to put emphasis on making sure it's good. So I'm 100% bought in. I can't wait.
I was more fascinated by his idea that he was actually very consciously forcing you to make choices through the story.
All I would say is it's important that people revisit Ground Zeroes again just before the Phantom Pain comes out. They may have played it last year and played it extensively, but I think it's going to be quite key to dive back in the weeks or a month before the final game comes out and really rinse it once more.
You know, it's Kojima's last Metal Gear, right? So it's kind of like letting the players loose, sort of thing.
When I sat down to play Ground Zeroes, I think the first reaction was just my pride and how much it hurt. You know what I mean? Like, it's not as easy as it was where I could walk somebody through Metal Gear Solid 2 on the phone. Now it's like, you know where those guys are gonna be and what they're doing, but you might make a noise here, you might hit a pot over there, this is gonna happen. Like, you open a door too loud. There's all these little things that it's like, okay, it really is the next level of Metal Gear, and what do I do with that?
When you have so many mechanics to play with and you have control over things like a day-night cycle, which can totally impact the way you approach a mission. For me personally, I think for fans it's really exciting, but I think it's also going to impress people who maybe weren't fans of Metal Gear in the past, because it's not so focused on sticking to the tropes and the cliches that Metal Gear is known for. It really breaks out of the box and does something totally new.
The small details that he really cares about, which, like myself, that's what makes the big difference. I mean, if you're shooting a movie in a house, you spend a lot of time on curtains because curtains are the last details. For him, it's like, how does the horse eyes blink? It's like things like that which shows dedication. And my God, you can't take away that from anyone.
Kept you waiting, huh?
First of all, my hat went off to Kiefer for really throwing his full weight into it and bringing it and submitting himself to the process and understanding who the character was and allowing it to breathe.
What I think he's done with these characters, and specifically the character that I got to play, this is a man who's going to do the right thing for the right reasons. He's not doing it for money, he's not doing it for glory. This is a character who has a very strong sense of right and wrong and is going to do things according to that. And he's being confronted with circumstances that are beyond any one man's capability.
Now go! Let the legend come back to life.
I also freaked out because I got to see basically my face on Ocelot. And for me as an actor, for me as a fan, that was huge.
Now I'm playing Miller, and you know, and what a fantastic role to be cast in. Miller has a lot of vulnerable moments in The Phantom Pain, obviously with what's happened to him physically and mentally.
Metal Gear Solid 5 is a darker game. It's musically, as I say, it's a departure. I produced the music. Justin Burnett's created some of the music for this. The story turns pretty damn dark.
It's gonna be super dark. You know, it's a lot darker. The Phantom Pain, it's kind of scary. You know, it's sort of it's a much darker vision.
You're definitely going to see some fun stuff in The Phantom Pain.
It's like a movie. It's really like a movie.
One of the interesting things about Kojima, which I very much related to, is that we're both very family men. You know, we live very mundane lives with our children and our wives. We don't have a very exciting, everyday spectaculars, but our imagination and fantasies, you know, travel where no man has gone before.
I guess the legacy would be like continually subverted people's expectations in a good way.
As I've seen Metal Gear Solid 5, people better watch out, because that's going to do something different again.
I think Hideo Kojima and Metal Gear have influenced other creators to experiment more and try things that are outside of the box. If creators, chase a vision that they really believe in, that will resonate with fans and it'll be evident in the final product.
Well, I mean, a lot of people think of Kojima as the Metal Gear Solid guy, but in fact, he's a lot broader than that.
もうこのメタルギアソリッドそのものが一つのもう文化というか、でっかい塊で影響することさえも許されないような、圧倒的な塊って感じがするんですけどね。ですからもうそれ一つがもう一つの大きな世界で、みんなそれにびっくりしてるという、もうキングダム状態かなっていう気がしますけどね。
The body of Metal Gear work, the art of Metal Gear is very impressive to me, and what Hideo Kojima has dedicated his life to, it's kind of a noble thing.
Hideo Kojima to me, 100% pure respect. That's it. And I'm very honored to have chance to work with him, and I'm very honored to stay close friend with him. He's a very special person to me, and a special person to the fans all over the world.
Don't you die on me, damn it! He be dropping! Intubate, now! Cardiac arrest, he's in VFib! Clear! No response, hit him again! Clear!
You seem kind of phony. Everything's a lie.
How's he doing? Well, he's stabilized, but it took too long. He's in a coma.
Something in your
about him?
Don't see eye to eye. We are not your kind of people. Don't want to be like you ever in our lives. We are not your kind of people. Mind when you start talking, there's nothing but white noise. Running around trying to fit in, wanting to be loved. It doesn't take much for someone to shut you down. When you build a shell, build an army in your mind. You can't sit still and you don't like hanging round the crowd. They don't understand. We are extraordinary people. We are extraordinary people. We are extraordinary people. We are extraordinary people.
You've been in a coma for quite some time. Yes, yes, I know. You would like to know how long. I'm afraid it's been 9 years.
You see this? Diamond Docks. Our new home.
V has come through.
money, recruits, just to combat Cypher. Rubbing our noses in bloody battlefield dirt. All for revenge. Why are we still here? Just to suffer? Every night, I can feel my leg, and my arm, even my fingers. The body I've lost. The comrades I've lost. Won't stop hurting. It's like they're all still there. You feel it too, don't you? I'm gonna make him give back our past.
It's not just them. The whole world wants you dead. You'll have to join up with Miller. Build that private army of yours one more time. First, we need to save Miller. He's in Afghanistan. You're a legend in the eyes of those who live on the battlefield. That's why you have to handle this mission yourself. That's how Kaz would want it. Afghanistan is a big place. I expect you'll become quite familiar with those binoculars as you plan your next move. How and where you make it, well, that's up to you. Now go! And let the legend come back to life.
took you so long?
Feeds that blackened heart, and thirst must be quenched through hypocrisy. Plenty flames is the only way to repent. Renounce what made that will. Would you speak them to me with your prayer so still? It makes me believe that sins never die. Can't wash the blood off our hands. Let no one fear us all. It's just means to an end. Our salvation lies beyond the truth. Let me suffer now. In my heart, I just know that there's no light at the door in his eyes.
The world calls for wet work, and we answer. No greater good, no just cause. Cypher sent us to hell, but we're going even deeper. Take back everything that we've lost.
Cause I'm already a demon.
He mentioned something interesting. Cypher is pursuing new research. He claims that what they're doing in Africa is the missing piece. A weapon to surpass Metal Gear.
Standing on the edge of the crater, like the prophets once said, and the ashes are all cold now. No more bullets, and the embers are dead. Whispers in the air tell the tales of the brothers gone. Desolation, devastation. What a mess we made when it all went wrong. Watching from the edge of the circus for the games to begin. Gladiators draw their swords, form their ranks for Armageddon. I'm nuclear, I'm wild.
not burying them at sea. What then?
We'll make diamonds from their ashes. Take them into battle with us.
A shining light to our brothers in arms, even in death.
We are diamond dogs. Sorrow to the heartless sea. I will always be with you.
I was born in a small village. I was still a child when we were raided by soldiers, foreign soldiers. Torn from my elders, I was made to speak their language. With each new post, my masters changed, along with the words they made me speak. With each change, I changed too. My thoughts, personality, how I saw right and wrong. Words can kill.
Time and again, the country was ruled by a foreign tongue. When he was a young boy, he lost his native language, the bedrock for any developing child. His country, his family, his face, his identity, everything was stolen from him.
Since ancient times, every civilization's ruler has had the same idea. When people unite under one will, they become stronger than the sum of their parts. And what do rulers use to bring people together? Language.
This world will become one. I have found the way. Race, tribal affiliations, national borders, even our faces will be irrelevant. The world that the boss envisioned will finally become a reality, and it will make mankind whole again.
America is a country of liberty, a meeting of immigrants. Instead of simply assimilating, its citizens live alongside others. So the Major sought a system that used information, words, to control the subconscious.
In his eyes, the greatest symbiotic parasite the world's ever known isn't microbial. It's linguistic. Words are what keeps civilization, our world, alive. Free the world, not by taking men's lives, but by taking their tongues.
With this, I'll rid the world of infestation. Sans lingua franca, the world will be torn asunder, and then it shall be free. The chain of retaliation is what will truly bind this world together as one.
Les enfants terribles, Zero called it.
Boss, about Eli and his boys.
You know where they went?
We're still working on it, but the chopper pilot they had fly them out of here is back.
And?
He said once Sahelanthropus and the chopper got out to sea, they split up and headed in different directions. The chopper headed straight for Africa. They made it about 50 miles inland before running out of fuel. The kids used vines and duct tape to tie the pilot to his seat before they disappeared. He was almost dead from dehydration when the medics found him. They left him alive on purpose.
Yeah, they're calling us out. They want to settle this.
The intel team are using the direction Sahelanthropus headed and the direction the kids took off in to narrow down the search area. And with Hewick helping out, it won't be long before we know where Eli is. There's just one thing that bothers me.
What's that?
Apparently, there are already men going around the nearby villages asking for witnesses of the giant in the sky.
Damn it. Already?
It's clearly business as usual for Cypher, even with Skullface gone. They must have been dying to get Sahelanthropus back ever since Afghanistan. And if they beat us to it, they'll be getting more than that. Eli's carrying the English strain of the vocal cord parasite. We've tracked down Eli and his men. They've spread the parasite across the island. It won't affect you if your voice hasn't broken, so they're safe, for now. Eli's driven all the adults off the island. Recess is officially in session. His own version of Lord of the Flies, only instead of a pig's head, Sahelanthropus. And it's swarming with something worse than flies. They presented one demand in exchange for the nuke. Big Boss's body. Those kids have got a lot to learn.
Okay, boss. The objective is to recover Sahelanthropus and the children, Eli included. Once you're in the air, we'll hit the island with napalm. Can't let those things spread. It gets worse. Here's the tape from when Eli took off.
Where is he?
I told you, your father's not here.
They're back.
His voice is starting to change, meaning he's almost a man. So if he's carrying the English language strain, well, if he starts showing symptoms, it's over.
should be through here.
You're not a kid anymore. You can call your own shots. But at this rate, you'll be dead before you have a chance.
I'm free to die however I wish. Yes, free. You don't get the last word, Father. I'll break the curse of my heritage. And to do that, first, I will kill you!
Give me some room. He'll be all right. The vest took the bullet.
Get him on the chopper. We'll patch him up at base.
Boss, he's showing symptoms. Huh? What?
I was created by Cypher. And I was the flaw. My fate was written in my genes. I'm the loser. You. All because of you. I'm not me. I'm just a copy of you. I will surpass my father. Destroy my father. Destroy you! I'll kill all of Cypher. I'll destroy your precious world.
Code Red, we need to go, fast. How's it going over there? There's nothing you can do for him now.
Island's completely contaminated. Orders are to use napalm to sanitize.
Sanitize every square inch. Prepare to drop. We're pulling out. Move! Code Red.
Live. Live.
You're one hell of a soldier.
I will kill you!
That's right. Don't blame yourself. Blame me.
Not yet. It's not over yet.